the Senior Bowl is coming up this weekend, and we had the opportunity to hear from the executive director about some guys to keep an eye out for, and one in particular might be of interest to the Browns. Let's listen to Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Senior Bowl.
Eskridge is a name you don't hear a lot about right now, but the dude is electric. He has a big play waiting to happen, and I've said it a couple times. Like, he looked like he was playing at a totally different speed on Mac tape this year. He looked like he was on fast forward, so he's probably going to be a low 4.3 guy. He plays every bit of that, and just get the ball in his hands, whether it's in the return game or receiver. He's got a chance to really elevate coming out of this year's game.
How much potential does he have?
Yeah, we liked him over the summer, Rob, at receiver. When I watched him at receiver, I'm like, I can't believe they were thinking about, and not just thinking about it, they tried him at corner. And the reason they did that was because of his mindset. He was, he was the most competitive guy in that wideout group. He was the toughest guy in that wideout group, and he embraced it. Some guys shy away from any kind of position switch, but D embraced it, and but they ended up moving him back, and he made a huge jump. I mean, we liked him on junior tape, but more is like the fourth round range is where we had him over the summer, and now he's like almost at the top of the board at receiver for us, and it shows the work they put in. It shows what guys can do between their junior and senior years.
And Jake, we've talked a little bit about speed. There's a guy that's probably going to be available a little bit later in the draft. Won't be for maybe third round. Is that the type of guy that you add to this wide receiver position group and then let Kevin Stefanski go have some fun?
Yeah, that's the profile you want, right? You want a guy who's known to have the mid 4.3 speed with proven tape that he can go get the football in, and Dwayne does. I think he's a guy who's slow start to his career. He did not really break out until his third season, and then suffered a collarbone fracture the next year when, as Jim said there, he was trying to play a little bit of both ways, and then went back full time to wide receiver this past year, and had a really nice year. I think he put up close to 800 yards and 8 touchdowns in a limited season. So he's fast. He's got pretty steady hands, and he runs routes effectively enough. It is the type of guy they're looking for. Now, you talk about an injury concern a little bit, just a flag, and then you talk about he's already going to be 24 by the time he enters the league. You got to think guys like Jacob Phillips, they targeted 21 years old when they entered the league. So that changes the scope of the career. By the end of their rookie contract, they're already pushing to the 29, 30-year-old range there. So I don't know. An analytically driven front office might want somebody younger, but as far as the type of guy goes, in that situation where a guy who can run that well and a guy who's got enough ability to catch the football with his hands, and his route running ability is good enough as well, that is the profile. Again, this is a really deep wide receiver class that has a ton of options for whatever the pick your flavor is for what your offense needs. There will be opportunities. I do think they'll consider him. I do. I just don't know if the age profile fits kind of what they're looking for. As a guy you take mid to late in the draft, like you see there, I'm just not sure that will be a perfect match. But you're right on the path of what they will look for if they do take a wide receiver, which is they feel like they need somebody who can run down the field, make a difference vertically in the passing game to open up some of the things that their guys, Jarvis, Odell to an extent, and even, your tight ends, Hooper, Njoku, Bryant, do really well at that intermediate area. So we will see what they do, what they go with. There are a ton of options. Eskridge is definitely one of them. We'll just have to see if the value, age, and all of that sort of meshes with what they're trying to do with that position, because there might be an angle to which they're saying we need to be patient, maybe get a guy who we can grow with over time, and if that's the case, you might not draft a guy that age.